What's going on, guys? Matthew back again, this time for another review for Penguin, this time for episode 5, titled Homecoming. Let's get into it. This episode was directed by Helen Shaver and written by Brennan Gibson and Shay Ogbonna. We start the episode with Oz burning his car that Victor saved him in, and Oz retells that story of that gangster who used to parade around his town and made everybody feel safe. We then meet some guys that pull up in a van that work for Oz. Now, maybe we've been introduced to these people before. I don't remember who they are, and I don't know why they have such loyalty to Oz. Let me know in the comments below if I should remember who these people are and if we've seen them before, because I don't. Because the only people I remember working for Oz is really just Victor. We then see that Oz pulls out his phone, and we see a young Maroney who is a TikTok star. I thought it was funny and weird to see TikTok in a show like The Penguin, but because it's based in reality and it's supposed to be very grounded, it does make sense that it would be there because, I mean, let's face it, a lot of people use TikTok today. They then go and kidnap this Maroney. It was a really funny sequence where he's wearing his headphones and he doesn't hear the gunshots going off behind him. One thing also, I love how quickly this show just moves along. Like, we could have had a lot of dialogue, a lot of wasted time in between seeing the TikTok on Oz's phone and them actually going there and kidnapping him, but we go right there, and I love that. We then go to Oz, who is with the Maroneys in prison. He has somehow gotten a meeting with them before telling them that he has their son. He tells them while he's in the meeting, he shows them the picture that they have kidnapped their son. How did he get this meeting to begin with, considering the fact that he just had Victor kill a Maroney with his car in the previous episode before fleeing from the scene? How were they even able to meet without Oz getting shanked or something? And this actually goes with the rest of the episode. There's a lot of weird things that are kind of glossed over and kind of sped up. And I do think, before I move any further, that this is the weakest episode so far. It's not a bad episode, but I do think it's the weakest, and I'll get into more of that as we move along. We then cut to Sophia, who has Veedy tied up in I guess their morgue or I don't know what you call it, but she has him tied up for the sake of finding some money that Carmine had stashed away. Vic then shows up at Oz's mom's house to meet with Francis because it's his job to take her somewhere safe so that Sophia doesn't come after her. We see that it's very important to Oz that Vic get her medication, and there's a moment where Vic enters the room and she seems to be very out of it before revealing to him that she does know who he is. I wasn't sure if she was just faking that or if she really didn't know who he was, but it seems like she was faking it. At this point, I'm not sure how crazy she actually is. We know that in a previous episode, someone called Oz because she was across the street just kind of wandering around, but she seems to be there enough in her head to where it seemed like she was faking that interaction with Victor. We then go back to prison where Maroney is stabbed by the prison guard that Oz paid off, and we're left to believe that Maroney is dead. More on that later. Oz goes to meet the Maroney wife with their child, and he pulls into the van and pulls out the child, or not the child, but their son, and he's clearly doused in what has to be gasoline because it's not going to be water. What's the point of that? And I thought this was a very clever thing that I've never seen before, where Oz knows that because the mom loves him, the first thing she's going to do is hug him. So she's going to get gasoline on herself as well. My only criticism here is that when they started shooting at Oz and his henchmen, Oz should have immediately just shot the ground where the fire is with his Uzi to ignite it. But he waited a little while to combat the other Maroneys that are shooting at him, and then he lights it on fire. I thought it was a very clever way to kill a mob wife and their child, to light them on fire just using the love against them. It really goes to show the dark heart of Oz. After leaving, we see that the mushrooms are actually dry. They have not been left in warm enough temperature. And he also gets a phone call from Maroney from the prison guard's phone. Maroney has somehow survived. He took a stab wound to the stomach, but I guess he fought off the prison guard and killed him. And then he just somehow escaped the prison. He told Oz, "Thank you for the keys." But why is it that easy that you get keys from a prison guard and you're just able to just walk out of the prison? Unless he took the phone from the prison guard, called up his boys, and they came and rescued him. But I just felt that was very rushed and very unrealistic. That's just how easy it is to escape Blackgate Prison in Gotham. I just didn't really buy that, and to me, that was probably the worst moment of the show by far. We then see that Rush joins Sophia. He shows up at Sophia's house and basically says that I want in on whatever you're doing. I still have questions about Rush and what his relationship to Sophia is. I understand that he maybe has a crush on her. He wants to sleep with her, but he has something going on with him mentally. I don't really understand what it is exactly, but I think they have bigger plans for Rush and maybe a bigger revelation for his character later on. We only have what let's see, we only have 3 episodes left, so I don't know what they're going to do with Rush's character. If he ends up just getting killed, then it feels kind of like a waste of time for him, but we'll see. It's after this that Sophia shows up as the new boss of the Falcons, but really she's calling it the Gigantes now. And we see that Vidi has obviously told her where the cash is, and he's now her underboss. I don't know why he agreed to that, but we then see that she sits down at the table and declares that they are no longer the Falcons. Vidi has a problem with this, and while his head is turned, she caps him right in the head and kills him in front of everybody, setting the tone, letting everyone know what she's capable of, and then pulling out the money that Vidi found for her, and then giving it to all of her goons for loyalty. Smart move by her. It shows that she's ruthless and that she's willing to actually pay her goons what she thinks they deserve. So she has their loyalty immediately. After this, Victor takes Francis to his old neighborhood that got swept by the water that Riddler unleashed on the city. And we see, I think his name is Squid or Scorpion. I think it's Squid. And Squid sees them enter the complex, but then we never see anything beyond that. So I'm sure there's more of that to be had in the future. And after this, we have the other big problem of this episode, which is that Sophia just randomly finds Maroni's hideout in the middle of the woods. There's a cabin in the middle of the woods. Maroni is there with armed guards surrounding it. And she just shows up there with her people and takes them out and has a meeting with Maroni. Now, let me know in the comments below, is there something I missed as far as Sophia knowing where Maroni's hideout is and how she found it? Let me know if I missed something, because I really don't understand how she knew how to be there. That and Maroni escaping prison was very swept over and not really discussed at all, in my opinion. Unless I missed something, let me know in the comments below. Also, I have to point out that Maroni got stabbed in the stomach, and it didn't seem to be a shallow stab either. From what I remember, when the prison guard stabbed him in prison, it seemed to be a pretty deep stab. How is he just walking around with a stab wound to the gut? I don't really understand that. Also, like, if you're gonna have him escape prison, go to this hideout, interact with Sophia, why have him get stabbed at all? Why can't you just have him catch the knife and see them struggling and then cut away? Why does he need to get stabbed in the stomach if you're going to use him after that? And we finished the episode with Penguin arriving at the apartment where Victor and Francis are. He gets kind of turned down by his mother, rejected by his mom. She's not proud of him. She's very disappointed in him. And so he's been kind of rejected by his mom and that hooker that he has feelings for. So women aren't really giving him what he wants at the moment. He opens up a jar of quarters from his past and sees an emblem that represents the sewers. He then goes down there with Victor, breaks open the door, and goes to the sewers where a generator still works after all this time. I don't know much about generators, but I don't know if it would still be working the way it does in this show. But he cranks it up, the lights come on, and he tells Victor that this is their new base of operations where they're going to grow the mushrooms and work their new crime system from the underground. And I do like that we now have the Penguin in the sewer, a la Batman Returns. I really like that a lot, and I really like the direction we're heading. But anyway, guys, that's my review of this episode 5 titled Homecoming for the Penguin. I believe I'm going to have to give this one an 8 out of 10. It had just those two big problems with Maroni, both of them dealing with Maroni. He escapes prison very easily, just having a key, apparently, from the prison guard. There's no system of walking out. You can just walk out the front door, apparently. And then Sophia just shows up at his cabin in the woods as if she's known where it was all along. Those are two big problems to me. As far as the cinematography, it was fine. No problems there. Acting still good. Writing still good, other than if you don't want to count the two problems I have there. And other than that, I really had no problems with the episode. Weakest episode of the show so far. Still a good one. I'm still invested. I can't wait for the next one, but definitely the weakest one so far. But guys, let me know if I missed anything in the comments below. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy.